In this episode, I take one of the most unique forms of scheduled transportation in the world as I spend a lovely sunny spring day on the Isle of Wight. Welcome to a almost sunny but quite windy Portsmouth. This is Portsmouth Southsea Station behind me, but I'm not getting on a train. I'm actually getting on quite a unique form of public transportation. There's only one of these in the whole of Europe, as far as anyone knows, and possibly even the world. It's the world's, Europe's at least, only scheduled public transportation service by Hovercraft. So first of all, we're going to get the bus down to Southsea, and we'll show you what that's like. So when you arrive on the train at Portsmouth Southsea Station, take a diagonal right towards Commercial Road and the main bus interchange, and that way you can get the Hover Travel H1 service, which will take you directly to the terminal in Southsea. So behind me is the Hover Travel Terminal on Southsea Beach. I'm going to do a day return on this trip. It's quite expensive. It's actually about £33 return, which, given the distance, and it's only a 10-minute ride. It's actually quite expensive. At one time, this was rated as the most expensive scheduled public transportation service on a per mile basis in the world. So it's not cheap, but people do use this to commute across the island to Portsmouth on a daily basis. So it is useful, and it is an iconic part of Portsmouth. We love it here. It's, as I say, it's unique. It's about the only one in Europe or possibly even the world. So we're very, very fond of it. So hopefully we'll be able to keep it going for the next few years. So the Hovercraft terminal is located on Southsea Beach on Clarence Esplanade, right next to the Clarence Pier amusement park, and right opposite some conveniences if you need them. If you're here a bit early and you want to get something to eat or drink, then I recommend the Coffee Cup on the fairground, a branch of a very good local coffee shop chain. The Hover terminal itself is essentially just much like a very big bus terminal. There's not much there, not really frills, and it is kind of looking a bit tired, so it could do with a little bit of a spruce up at some point. It does have vending machines for Costa coffee and snacks and toilets as well, but really not much, nothing else other than that. There's actually a very quick turnaround getting passengers on and off. It only takes about 5 to 10 minutes in total, and there's a very much no frills. There's no real procedures, you just literally walk on, walk off, just like any bus or train. And the seating inside is very much just like a train. It's a little bit cramped, but it's all very comfortable, and it's just what you need for a very short ride, really. There's also safety information as well. We are actually going on the open sea, so make sure you read that before the hovercraft leaves.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Hover Travel. We would like to say raise your hand over to
So that was the Isle of Wight Hovercraft. Fantastic little trip. It's only 10 minutes across the Solent, and actually it's only a 5-minute turnaround. Literally just landed, we got off, and everyone walked back on, closed the doors, and that was it. So it's quite bumpy, so it's not the most comfortable ride you'll ever have on any public transport. If you've got, bad back or any kind of mobility issues, then you're probably better off doing car ferry or the catamaran. But this is iconic. We love it here. If everyone away, it would always be like taking the Eiffel Tower away from Paris or something like that. It's great. It's actually very convenient, but as I say, it is quite expensive to use. £33 return for me, but this has been going since I was a kid, since at least the 1970s. It's also very safe. There's a safety briefing and there's life jackets, or everything you need. There has been some issues over the years, but there's only ever been one fatal accident, and that was back in the 1970s. And since then, they're hyper conscious about safety. For example, yesterday there were no services running because of the high winds. So it is definitely worth coming if you want to come to the Isle of Wight and you want to do something a little different. Then definitely take the hovercraft. I'm now going to get on another slightly less unique but still quite quirky little piece of transportation, heading down towards Sandown and Shanklin on the east coast of the island. So right now I'm on Ryde Pier. It's from the pierhead at the end that I'm going to take another little interesting bit of public transportation. It's the Isle of Wight train service. Now there used to be a more quite extensive train network on the island, but rail cuts over the years, most of it was closed. There's one line left going from Ryde Pier all the way down to Sandown and Shanklin. It uses old London Underground rolling stock, so it's a bit of a second-hand train service, but it's still a vital connection for people in the southeastern coast of the Isle of Wight. So I'm going to head on that and see what's down in Sandown and Shanklin. Shanklin is a big town on the island, but really it's more like just a big village in most other places. It has a lot of the big brands that you would expect, but it's also not dominated by them either. It doesn't have Starbucks or Costa Coffee or Cafe Nero, and you certainly won't find McDonald's or a KFC or a Burger King on this high street. So it's got a quite pleasant old school feel about it. There's also a pretty large theatre in the town, which is pretty nice to have, and it has a lot of good acts on a regular basis. And And then there's the Shanklin Old Village, which is a very pretty little quarter, just a little bit way down the hill near the Chines, with a thatched roof and traditional architecture, kind of a picture postcard chocolate box type area. And it's a very short walk down Tower Cottage Gardens, a very small pretty little park, down the hill to the seafront and to the beautiful view of Sandown Bay. It's the British seaside, so obviously got to have some fish and chips. I chose the Bayside Fish and Chips restaurant, which is quite a modern place with one of these electronic ordering systems that you get in, McDonald's or KFC or Burger King these days. It was expensive. It was about £18 for a regular sized cod and chips with mushy peas and a brioche buttered roll and a bottle of Pepsi. Also a couple of sachets of tomato ketchup that were left there by previous occupants of the table. It actually tasted pretty good. I wouldn't say it was the best fish and chips I've ever had, but it was very tasty and very fulfilling, and I really enjoyed it. And of course, what seaside resort would be complete without a nice bit of crazy golf? So after a short trip on the Island Line, it's a couple of stations, I was back in Sandown. It's about 10 or 15 minute walk from the station down the hill and gets you down to the really lovely sandy beach of Sandown, which is right on Sandown Bay, as you would expect. There's this really nice little bit of the promenade with lots of memorials that people pay for people who passed away who love this area. And unfortunately, the seafront is looking a bit worse for wear, as you can see by the Ocean Hotel, which is fire damaged. But there are still nice parts of the beach. Here we have Sandown Pier, which is more of an arcade that you have to walk through to get actually onto the pier. But the bay itself is still just as stunning and beautiful as it is if you're looking at it all the way down in Shanklin. Sandown is a little different to Shanklin, as it doesn't have the same kind of big chains as Shanklin does, but it does have some quirky little places to get some quirky little items. But there's still the examples of the big English seaside decline, very sadly. And so I decided to get the train back to Ryde, getting off at Ryde Esplanade instead of the Pierhead, and popped across the road to have a couple of pints in the King Lud pub before getting back on the Hovercraft and heading back to Portsmouth. On the whole, it was a really lovely day, nice and warm and sunny, just a little bit windy, and getting to the Isle of Wight, well, it's a real experience. The Hovercraft is a lot of fun. It is expensive, but it is unique. This is the only one anywhere, certainly in Europe so far, and almost certainly in the world. So if you do decide to go to the Isle of Wight, yes, there are more convenient and quicker ones to go to, but the Hovercraft is definitely an experience worth trying out at least once.